Professional bodies are the embodiment of professionals. They hold them in place, give them guidance on where exactly professionals are supposed to do and go in their whole career, right? Now today we'll be talking with the president of one professional body that is up and coming. Actually, they've been there for some time now, and we just want to find out where exactly they're about and shed more light on where exactly they are going to go, because I think this body, this organization has a lot of things to do and give to the community of designers in the country. And I just want you to be able to stay with us and listen to what exactly that they have in store for the professions in this country. Welcome everybody. This is another episode of Architectural Revolution, and today we are going to be talking about professional body, a certain professional body that has been coming up, it's been growing. I've seen a lot of things that they've been doing and actually partook in so many activities they've done. And I'm here with the president. And so first, I'll allow her to introduce herself, and then we can get the ball rolling with it.
So, hi, Ziwu.
Hello.
So I'm Audrey Forson. I'm the president of the Interior Designers and Decorators Ghana. We're essentially an association for professionals within the interior design value chain.
Okay.
So we've come together to see how to support and grow a network and then work with other affiliate associations as well.
All right, that's cool. First and foremost, let me say thank you for having the time, taking time from your busy schedule to get me to actually talk to you, because I think it would be great to have people know where exactly your organization does and even get to know you a bit. Taking off from there, I want you to give me a bit of history and background about yourself as a designer and where you've come from and where you are now.
Anytime I'm asked this question, I smile, because the moment I start to talk about my background,
right,
you wonder, what is she doing in design? But we'll get to that.
Sure.
So I like to start from a point where I was probably 7 years or between 7 and 9 years, and I was in primary 2, right? Yeah. And I discovered my ability to paint and draw, because that really sets the stone for my journey into design. And from there, I would engage in a lot of activities that would, in the future, bring me to where I am now. So I went to Holy Child School in Cape Coast and studied geography, economics, elective math, and French. Totally unrelated, right? Yeah. And then I come to University of Ghana and I study. So I did the humanities, and then I took political science, geography again. I'm not sure where I was going with geography, but geography again, and then psychology.
Okay.
And then I majored in psychology, did my paper on learning, behavior and learning. And then whilst I was still in the university, I think, which year was this? I think my second year. In fact, even before my second year, I went to senior high, my long vac, I think second year in Holy Child. I came home and I realized my mom had all these artisans in our backyard doing all these creative things. And so I would use my senior high vacations to work with the artisans and essentially learn the skills that they had. Because for me, it was home within home, in the sense that the things I loved to do as a child will bring me into this space and I'll fit perfectly in. So I'd work with the artisans. And then it also allowed me to essentially to go beyond just drawing on paper and on the floor, but turning your drawings into form, into pieces that you could touch and then feel. So that was an exciting experience for me. So I jumped right into it when I was in my second year in school, and then continued through the university. But I think it was my second or third year that I started to find my foot, and then my parents also started to see perhaps how serious I was about being part of this business or the space, the design space.
Okay.
I don't have any formal training in design, believe it or not. I have a master's in finance.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So that I went back to school in 2015 to get. But essentially, I'm a product of apprenticing.
Okay.
Right from the get-go, when I joined my parents as a student intern, I would attach myself to artisans and an apprentice. I would go on to attach myself to designers. So renowned designers such as Sheikh Diallo, who's known in architecture and product design in Africa for contemporary design, Hamed Ouattara. I'd spend months and months with these designers to learn on the job. So whilst they're doing their work, whilst they're traveling, whilst they're creating pieces, I was their handbag essentially,
okay.
right? Getting a hands-on experience for my journey in the future as a designer. So that's where my experience comes from. And then let's say the other things I studied all come together, whether it's the psychology, whether it's business, they all come together to harness the overall goal of me running Tekura and also becoming a president of IDDG.
Okay, so I mean, you studied psychology and then did a master's in finance.
Yes.
Is it safe to say that they've played a part in where Tekura is at the moment?
Absolutely, absolutely. In 2017, I was the managing director of Tekura unofficially, so it wasn't cast in stone yet. But I had grown to that point. Started off as an intern, and when I took that position, I realized that the MBA I went to take was coming in handy because naturally businesses grow and get to a stage where they are stuck, and that can affect your finances, right? And then you need to figure out what strategies, whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, whether it's your overall business model. You have to do is essentially an overhaul of your business financially to understand what isn't working, right, and how to improve your revenue streams. And so definitely these courses I studied all came to play a key role. I'll give you an example with psychology. I would have never believed anybody if they told me I would be able to work with artisans, because artisans, skillful as they are probably the most difficult people to work with. I just say it as it is. Everybody who has hired, whether a plumber or electrician, unfortunately has experienced those challenges. And imagine running it as a business, running a team like that as a business on a day-to-day. So a bit of psychology also teaches you how to work with people. You're working with your artisans on one side, you're working with your operations and your production team on the other side, and then you're working with customers on another side. Then you have the industry players. So you learn a lot about emotional intelligence, you learn about communication, you find approaches to deal with challenges you face, whether it's the carrot or stick. You have to find mechanisms to essentially achieve your overall goal as a business person. So definitely they have come in handy.
So, I mean, you've mostly worked with the artisans and all that. Where then would they come into play in helping you, communicate with professionals, other professionals as well? Say architects, for one.
So we work with architects. Architects fall under, for Tekura, they are clients, right? Because they specify our products on their projects, and we sort of play the role of the interface between the consumer, whether it's the architect or a family or an individual, and the artisans. So we sort of not just sell beautiful product, but we offer convenience, because you want your home done. You want to have your bed, your curtains, your furniture, and all the other things. But you think about the hassle of putting all those things together, right? Against your family life, your work life. And then we come in to take away that inconvenience for you. It's a small fee. And then provide you.
We'll leave it there.
Yes. Relatively small, because if you do the math and then you look at what it's probably cost you, you're better off talking to a professional to come in. And I've had a number of clients who would later reach out to me and have us take over the job, because then it becomes a hassle to having deal with everything that it comes up
Yeah.
in trying to put their home or their space together.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. It's much more easier when your designer understands the context in which you're coming from
Very
than
well.
trying to import the
Yes.
expertise that might take a
Yes.
while to communicate
Yes.
with them. I mean,
Yes.
really, it's a lot of work.
Yes.
It's a hassle to go
And
through that.
let me chip in that because
Yeah.
we've been doing this, not just myself, but
Yeah.
my mother who started my business 25 years. So we have expertise
Mm-hmm.
in dealing with every single challenge within our business value chain. So
Yeah.
we know how to source our wood, we know how to mobilize artisans, we know how to cost our products, we know how to offer quality to the client so that headache of is the carpenter going to fix the table right? Is it going to have balance? Is he paying attention to the ergonomics? All that we handle for the client.
Yeah, that's fine. So now let's jump into mainly why we are here, which is your professional body, which you're basically the president of.
Yes.
I want you to tell us what IDDG is and give us a bit of background about what you guys are.
Right. Today, my history on IDDG
Yes.
is being tested, which is okay. I am confident enough that I can answer your questions, and I hope my members don't come for my neck.
Please don't.
But essentially, IDDG, like I mentioned, IDDG stands for Interior Designers and Decorators Ghana.
Yeah.
It's an association of professionals within the design value chain, which falls in the built environment, falls under the built environment. And so we are a group of professionals, be it furniture designers like myself, interior designers, those in retail and manufacturing, those in import of decor and design products that are essential in the work that we do.
Yeah.
So we've come together to create a network, a community, to provide the support that we need for each other, whether it's emotional support, whether it's business support, whether it's coming together to work with other associations or work with other industry players. You know, there's an adage that says there's safety in numbers, but guess what? Beyond safety, there's opportunity, there's collaboration, there's community, and there's growth in numbers. So for us, it's about coming together to see what is out there for us, for associations. And if you're in Ghana or any other state, you would appreciate the value of group dynamics as opposed to engaging with the state or the government. It's important to work as a group to achieve a whole lot. Our systems are different, and working in silos or as individuals will not give you that leverage that you need to grow your business or your professional career. But when you come together as a group, you're able to get the attention of the government, get their ear, and then they can help grow the industry that you're in. So essentially, that's what it's for.
You know, because of the name, I actually thought it was mostly made up of interior designers and decorators. Didn't know.
So it's more than that. It started out purely as an association for interior designers, and I think at this moment we have about 90-something interior designers. But what comes with growth is evolution, right? As you go, you have to appreciate the changes that are popping up, and we realized that the community was growing. There were other professionals within the industry, and we thought it strategic to set up such a way that our umbrella covers all of these professionals rather than just leave them to work in isolation. So yes, we have under our structure is such a way that we have individual members who are trained interior designers, and then we have the corporate members who are typically either professionals or businesses, right? And each has to be registered with the Office of the Registrar of Companies as well. And then the interior designers must have their certificates of training, right? And then we also have our in-house checks and balances that we do to put everything in order. But I should say that the association came to birth properly, officially in 2018, if my memory serves me right. And Madame Delilah Mercer, who is a trained interior designer, pioneered this association. And she had also mobilized her peers and colleagues to come together to form it. And initially was focusing on interior designers alone. But along the line, as I mentioned, the vision was getting bigger, and the the number of professionals within the design value chain was also growing. So they deemed it wise to open up and then rein everybody in and put in the right structure so that you have these subgroups of maybe more closely knit professionals who can collaborate. So it's a wide range.
It's a wide range. Yeah. So I've been thinking about this, right? We have, like the name suggests, interior designers and decorators. Some people might confuse the two from time to time.
Yes.
At least, what would be the difference that you can tell that this person or this professional is an interior designer and then this person is an interior decorator?
So if you call IDDG, you get all the clarifications that you need, perhaps with who you're working with, right? A simple call to evaluate. But generally, interior designers have their certificates from their training, like a doctor has his medical certificate, or an architect or interior designers have their certificate. So they go through 5, depending on which country, 5 or 6 years of training, right, in their various fields. And for decorators, it often comes through passion.
Right.
Or having that eye, that X factor to be able to. And decorators focus mainly on decorating the space, right? So placing that pot over there, putting the mirror on the wall. There are little fine details that an already existing space may lack, and a decorator can add that oomph to the space, and then it gives it light. Guess what? The interior designer still does the work of decorator.
Yeah.
But in the public sphere, a lot of times it's assumed as one role. But interior designers go beyond just decorating. They learn a whole lot. You know what I mean? So, for instance, we're working on a project, and the interior designers are having meetings with the contractors, with the electrical engineers. They have to study these things in school, and I know that at Accra Technical and even KNUC, they teach them these things. So you're learning about some levels of construction engineering. What else? A number of them.
Yeah.
So interior designers would start their work from construction stage, or even the architectural design stage, and will work together with these other professionals to understand or properly define the path to the final product, what you see. So before you see a well-lit room, obviously there'll be some wiring happening behind the walls, and the interior designer will have to be working with the construction team and the engineering team to be able to figure out how to make it look right. So their jobs don't limit them to just beautification, but the behind the scenes of the beautiful things we see, or the beautiful spaces we see, and it's very important.
Very important. Yeah, it surely is. I mean, the schools that have started to teach interior design are really doing a good job, because first people would have to move far away
outside Ghana
to study it. But when it comes to studying interior design, aside from that, does one automatically become an interior designer? And then
it's still quite a young space, right? Or in the sense that a certificate will qualify you to be an interior designer, and that is where IDDG will come in. So part of shall I call it policy and procedure agenda for us is to be able to, and we're working with the Ghana Institute of Architects and other institutions, KNUST, to sort of add a layer of structure so that you have some professional course that is added to the degree course to ensure that, and I say this advisedly, that a lot of times when we come out of the university, there's a gap between what we've studied and the real world industry, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking at establishing procedures, professional procedures, or short courses to really transition graduates properly into industry, because we sit as mediators between education and industry, and we constantly have difficulty getting students attached to our members. A lot of times the concerns are they lack the practical knowledge to work in industry, or they don't have any experience, or they're difficult. So there are a number of concerns, and so our job is to work with the relevant institutions to set up the right structures to help transition these students properly into industry. So definitely, policy and procedures is one of the pillars we are targeting. We're working on currently, yeah, to ensure that there's that layer of what should I call it, professional course added to their degree programs.
Exactly. I mean, there's that practical aspects that young designers might have. It can be a concern. I mean, it happens mostly in other professions as well, my profession and engineers and all that. And it really takes a bit of time to bring them up in that way. And so, if we're to say your organization helps them in those aspects as well to come up as designers and to be the professionals that they need to be, right? How then, or, I mean, why would or should somebody then join your organization?
Okay, so as I said earlier, we're a professional body,
Yeah.
and coming together to form a community for the good of our members and the good of community. Essentially, our mission is to support creativity, establish the professional procedures that I mentioned to you, and also invest heavily in capacity building, not just for our members, but for the next generation of designers, which means that the young students or graduates coming out. And so for us, if you want to join IDDG, that means that you have interest in any of these, right? You want to support us build the procedures that we need for the right quality of designers that we're looking for, or you want to join us nurture creativity. We recently started what we call the IDDG Design Clinics, which is essentially targeting high school students studying visual arts or technical and vocational studies. And one of the reasons is the gap that I talked about, where our members or clients will complain about professionals coming from the TVET space. And so we are seeing it as catch them young, let me put it that way, and get them to understand professionalism, let them to understand the opportunities in the design value chain, so that by the time they are graduating from university, they have what it takes, right? It's a smooth, easy transition. So we're looking at the people in the design space who want to join this community to create that value for the future. My manifesto as the current president is public engagement and education. And for us, it's imperative that we educate the next generation of students, whether at the basic level, the junior high level, the senior high level, or even the tertiary level. And then also educating the public, because interior design is fairly new to a lot of Ghanaians. There are Ghanaians who will still wonder why they should pay somebody to design their space, right? And so for us, it's important to educate the public, who is essentially your market, and that makes your work easier, right? If they understand and see value, or the value in what you do, then you do not have to. It's like you don't have to negotiate so hard and convince them so hard that this is why you need me.
Yeah, because they already know.
Absolutely. So education for us is a pillar in our association, and we spend a lot of time and our resources in there. We have an education committee and a chair, so we have about 15 members, I think, and what we do is put together programs. What we've started now is putting together programs for students. So we work with Accra Technical University, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. We are looking to work with the Sunyani Technical as well. There are a number of other schools in the pipeline, as well as senior high schools, right, in the pipeline, so that we get the young people started early enough to make all the mistakes that they need to do before they get into industry proper.
Yeah. So, I mean, the education, I think earlier this year, there was a bit of a workshop for architects and interior designers. It was quite insightful.
Okay. You were there?
Yeah, I was there.
Okay. You
And
didn't come to say hello?
so I guess I was just a bit in my shell at that time. So
Right.
yeah.
Don't mind me. I'm
Yeah.
just
So this is the thing. That education, that workshop was eye-opening for a lot of reasons. I knew a bit about the products. What I want to know is there other ways where we can collaborate with, architects per se on design seminars where we can also train the professionals as well, such that we can also work together in the future way better than
This
what
is
we're
very
doing now.
interesting because it's a conversation I've been having with the GIA president.
Okay.
The feedback from that particular workshop, and we took this around, so we didn't even limit it to professionals. We took it to Accra Technical University and we took it to KNUST, and the feedback was really good. Most of the students and the professionals were saying, this is what we need. We need to have frequent sessions with the makers to understand the products we are picking for our clients, to ask the necessary questions, to understand the history of the businesses that are or brands that are holding these products. So we have had the conversations. Things are still in the pipeline, let me put it that way. But definitely, because our agenda is focusing on education, we definitely have plans to further it. Just as you said, it would be great to collaborate more with the architects. And I believe that if the president sees this, he'll give me a call and say, when do we start our next session?
I hope soon. I hope soon.
Yes. But we definitely want to do more of this. It was exciting for us to see a lot of, and there were people in other fields, carpentry, manufacturing, who came there and learned so much, shared their feedback with us. And I think for us also, our members now appreciated even more what they are doing, right? Because for most of them, it's business as usual. They're putting their product out there. But to give the whether it's the consumers or third-party affiliates, that exposure to what each product entails and to ask the right questions and get the right knowledge was for them also, as let's say, a level of growth. They realized that there's more that they can do. So I have a tall list of members who are particularly interested in such engagements. So I'm happy to hear what your feedback as well.
Okay, so I really do hope it will happen. But let's talk about one thing that I noticed. Well, it was a while back. It has to do with the acts that you guys are trying to have together.
Yes.
Can you talk a bit about it? I think it would be good to have it really enacted.
So there's a petition we put out, right, to have interior design listed on the Architects Act as a profession. We're still in conversations and engagement. In fact, there was a whole new idea proposed to us, which sounded interesting. But my members and I are yet to even take decisions on that. But it's imperative for us as a body or as an association to have that backing. An act of parliament is constitutional. So if you have that backing, it seals your profession, but it also comes with responsibilities to the public, right? Nonetheless, we still owe the public a duty of care when we're designing our spaces. But all of this adds to the procedures and the policies that I was mentioning to you, so that the right structures are put in to safeguard the general public. So definitely we are having conversations. I don't want to say anything yet, but it's something that's on the table. Again, we are working with GIA and other affiliates as institutions to get one, proper education, especially for members and affiliated professionals, and then two, know what steps to take, because we need to do our homework, right? We need to do our homework. We need to understand what we're getting ourselves into. We need to understand. We need to evaluate and see, are we ready for this? Are we prepared for this? And as we initiate the process, there's work that needs to be done in the background, right? A lot that needs to be done before we can even get to the point of saying, okay, we're listed under professional on the architects.
All right. I think I hope it comes to fruition maybe as soon, and it's really structured to really help the professionals that
Yes.
are coming up and those who are
Yes.
currently in the system.
Yes.
I mean, we are almost out of time, but I just want to ask: is there anything that I didn't ask you that you would maybe like to talk about?
I think I said everything. Didn't ask me what I do, but I assume that you already know.
I do know, but I can still ask you again. So what do you do?
So besides IDDG, right, I'm managing director for Tekura.
Yeah.
Tekura is a second generation family business that specializes in the design and manufacture of contemporary furniture and decor made from sustainable wood for the global market. And so as you can see around you, beautiful pieces of tables and stools. That is inspired by our cultural heritage. And this is important for me because we are in a time where it is important to have cultural identity as an African or as a Ghanaian. And what better way than to have the furniture pieces sitting in your home or your living area remind you of who you are.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do.
I do, honestly, to just tell you, when I came in, I couldn't speak for a few minutes because I really appreciated the things I was seeing and the designs that you are really trying to convey and communicate with the culture, the context in which we are in, and I'm sure a lot of clients are quite happy about it. Just that, I mean, it's simply great. Hopefully, I can have some people come and buy more.
They are very affordable.
They are very affordable.
And I'm going to say this in an era, a very fast-paced era of convenience and make things quick and do things fast. We're giving you pieces that hold culture, that tell stories, but last long. You're buying tables and stools made out of solid wood, right? And these pieces are going to sit in your house for a decade or two or more. And for some, you can even turn them into heirlooms and pass on to the generation after you and so on and so forth. We're trying to do something very important in our culture, which is sustainability. We're upscaling the waste wood we source from the Forestry Commission, and then we are making them into pieces that's, I don't want to shade anybody, but furniture that when you sit on a couple of times, it falls apart, right? We're trying to avoid all of that. We're going back to our roots. We're going back to how things were done. And so in our production process, you see that carving is the highlight of it all. Yeah. We're using carving to come up with designs that are mind-blowing, designs that are exciting, designs that are simple, designs that are a bit complicated. It's an homage to the people before us and how skillful they were in the way they would make things. So it's important for us as a business to communicate this to our clients or potential ones. It's not just about the beauty or whether it's a symbol of luxury, no, but it's identity. For us, the pieces reflect identity. So if you have a Tekura stool in your home, you get to talk about the relevance of stools in Ghanaian culture with your guests or whoever you have. And it sits there, nothing happens. So we have clients who have bought pieces for over a decade, 2 decades, 15 years going. So it's, and the testimonials are all over social media. So it's not just coming from my mouth. And that is important for us, that I think Ghanaians and Africans, we also deserve good things. And so we have put that responsibility on us to do good things for our community.
Sure. Well, I think we are out of time. I just want to say thank you for having us, for actually speaking on a lot of things that were on my mind and that basically I wanted to know. And I do hope people will actually follow up with your organization and with Tekura as well and see the amazing works that you do. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you as well.